Welcome to the Barstool Pick'em Super Bowl edition. We have special guest Todd Furman and Clay Travis. We are going to talk about all the props. Not all the props, but most of the props.
That's a lot of props.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the game.
Props.
We're going to talk about the game. We're going to keep it all to just the Super Bowl. And so my first question is, Clay, what are you doing here? I thought the Big Ten already murdered the SEC. Why are you here in front of us right now?
Because I've been on suicide watch in the South and I have to leave the southern region in order not to want to kill myself.
Take us, you know Dave and I are two Big Ten guys, so take us through your range of emotions when you watched the entire, everything that Southern people hold dear in life. Basically, what you'd say 100% of what their self-worth is based on?
Yes, all we care about is football. And the difficult thing was, it was a little bit of agony and ecstasy because Florida State getting throttled was like the greatest feeling
You
ever.
have a big beef with Florida State.
Florida State and all their fans and the idiots on Twitter. So I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. FSU Twitter was just silent. You know, there's nothing better than when a fan base, you can't even find them on Twitter. Like, they're talking so much and then they're just silent. Nobody's tweeting you nothing, and it's just a pile-on effect. Jameis Winston with that ridiculous falling back interception. It's a gift from God.
Yep.
So I was like, this is just so great. This is perfect. The thing could not have gone any better. Florida State finally got what they deserved. And then I wasn't even that focused on the Ohio State-Alabama game because Alabama came out and got up 21-6.
Your downfall, maybe for the next 7 to 10 years of credibility, was the Cobra tweet that you threw out.
Yeah, I threw out the mouse and a cobra.
Yeah.
It's not good for me.
And then it turned.
I also, on top of that, said back on September 6th, I believe.
I can't say anything different. I basically said the same
Ohio State
thing.
fans have been retweeting me this for like the last months. I said the Big Ten's officially eliminated from the college football playoff.
September 6th.
Something like
September
that.
6th.
So they've retweeted that like crazy. So as Ohio State is coming back, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm going to get told to suck so many dicks on Twitter tonight.
As you should have.
And or eat so many dicks, because evidently that's a thing too. And so, and by the way, I've written this before too, but why is telling someone to suck a dick an insult? Like,
I mean,
if you're gay,
this is a deep
philosophical
question.
It's a nice thing to do.
Philosophical question around here.
I don't understand. That's a weird insult to me because over half of the population doesn't. Right?
True.
I mean, like, it's
more than
just an odd thing. So anyway.
I mean, I don't know what we're talking about. Suck a dick is very clearly an insult. I mean, half the population, generally you don't tell girls to suck a dick. You tell guys, and those guys are busting balls, and you assume they're not gay.
But I just think it's
calling
weird.
you gay. I'm not saying I don't care about gay, but it's very clearly not a nice thing to say.
Right, but I just think it's a weird insult. It's kind of taken off. So anyway, I'm thinking about that as the comeback continues, and I just kept expecting that Alabama would find a way to win. And they didn't, and my life is ruined.
Yeah, so everything you thought you believed, and Wisconsin.
Suck my dick is one of the oldest insults of all time.
Right, but I'm saying it doesn't make sense nowadays.
But you just said it's taking off now.
No, I mean it's on Twitter.
Well, on Clay's timeline, a lot of things take off.
That's why I
took off years ago that haven't since.
That's why
so you're gay
on Twitter. That's why I've just adopted the fact that I'm a gay Muslim, because I'm like, okay, whatever. If I was gay, like fine. I mean, it's not. I would just admit it. Like, I find Big Cat really attractive. Not so much you, but Big Cat, he's a good-looking man.
Well, he's a noodle right now, so you can't. I mean, he's sick.
I mean, if I wore my nice clothes,
he's been sick for the last 7 months, so he can't do anything about it. I'll say this, Clay. I've decided, as an ambassador for the Big Ten, that I'm going to let the SEC play football next year.
The irony is my wife is a Michigan grad. So I have to hear it from home, too.
Like, and now they have Harbaugh, and now
the Harbaugh
effect.
I know.
Well, the Harbaugh effect has already started.
What's his name from Bronx Tale? Now you just can't leave.
For the next 10 years, you're going to hear about Michigan.
I came home from the title game, or the Sugar Bowl, and my kids were all in Michigan gear. And literally, I walk in and my wife has got them all in Michigan gear.
How's that make you feel then? Given that you tried to brainwash them with
I don't mind
bias.
Michigan. I generally hate Ohio State, but Michigan is kind of like the SEC. I mean, the Tennessee of the SEC in my mind, because they always think they're going to win and they never do. It's like dry humping the sex to Michigan football.
I mean, Michigan being compared to Tennessee is
a little concerned. Where are these analogies you're going to go for?
Not really a fair comparison.
The meanest
thing. Top 10 all-time winningest programs. They always build you up and then let you down. Huge stadiums.
Both of them are trending in the right direction.
Yeah, but you go across the country and like who is college football? Nobody's saying Tennessee. Lots of people are saying Michigan.
They did say Tennessee until the
where
disaster.
in Tennessee?
No. Tennessee is one of the top 10 winningest programs of all time. It's a national program.
It's a big.
Alabama's 1, Tennessee is 2 in the SEC historically.
Okay, but there's Alabama.
And just like Michigan and Ohio State.
It's like Alabama, Michigan, Texas. Those are hang your hat college football programs. Tennessee's not that.
Tennessee's a hang your hat college
Oh,
football
come
program.
on.
We actually had that discussion on Twitter. The 5 programs. It was
It's
like
not
USC.
Tennessee.
Wisconsin's not up there.
No,
so
no,
USC
I'm realistic.
for those
It's a 5 is interesting because
It's
USC is the West Coast traditional power.
USC
Notre Dame, Michigan,
Yep.
Ohio State, and
I
Alabama.
would take Notre Dame out of that
Texas
equation
could be-
now.
What? But
You'd
But
put
we're
now.
talking
Take them
about.
out
All right.
now.
I mean, historically, Notre Dame is a
But
top
Notre
5
Dame-
program.
Notre
but they've
Dame-
won like one major
Yes,
bowl game
but that's
since
college
1994.
football. When they're in it, it's like a bigger game.
As
That's
far
the
as a
point.
brand name, they have to be up
All
there.
right,
I
we'll
think.
move on
They have
because
their own
clearly,
freaking network.
I'm just driving everybody
clearly,
insane.
well, no, it's not
I mean,
even
you're
driving you
just saying
insane.
stupid
It's
things.
clearly we can't trust your opinion anymore about college football.
There's a
That's
difference
really what it
between
comes down
driving people insane and saying insane.
and we can't trust you anymore, Clay. Your approval rating is plummeting. Everything.
I don't
you
like
thought
Notre
you-
Dame, but to be like they're not a brand.
They're not
I
a
mean,
top 5 program.
To say
anymore,
that
is what I'm
Tennessee
saying.
is more of a brand than Notre Dame
Is it
is
literally-
Banana Lands.
Yeah.
You live in
Tennessee
Banana
is a
Lands.
top 10 program historically, just like
If
Notre
you
Dame.
travel the country, who's filling stadiums? Notre Dame or Tennessee?
Tennessee fans travel. And
No,
they fill
oh,
the
come
stadium.
on.
All right, here's
Come
the
on.
top 10
All right,
programs of
forget
all time. I will run through them. The 5 you just mentioned.
You don't have. You're putting Tennessee.
Nebraska,
Super Bowl
Texas,
podcast.
Tennessee.
I'm
The
not
Super
gonna
Bowl
argue.
podcast got derailed. All right.
This is the start of the college football podcast.
All right, well, let's go to-
I will
We'll
table
go
this
to-
discussion.
We can.
We
I'll
can do
hear
it
your
later,
10
but
at the end.
it's
We'll hear
literally
your-
insane that
Yeah,
you're
you're
doing
insane.
this Tennessee
You're
versus Notre
crazy.
Dame thing, and I hate
They're
Notre
in the
Dame.
top 10. I'm not saying
I
they're better. I'm saying
I
they're both
honestly
in the top
think
10.
you've lost your mind
My alma
since
mater isn't even close,
SEC
so I can't tell.
was murdered. All right, let's start from the top. I'm a tails guy, always been. I will always bet tails. Do you guys bet the coin flip?
Yeah, you have to bet the coin.
Have to
flip.
bet the coin flip. What would you take?
I mean,
No, because see, you know what? Todd's gonna say that's not a smart bet.
well, I mean, you're trying to figure out the opportunity that's available at the coin flip. So hopefully you guys are laying at least reduced juice. You're not laying $1.10 when you're betting the coin flip with your guys, are you?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, so
You have to.
See, there you go.
It's, you don't have a choice.
I
You
go-
dollar
always
one
go-
if you're playing it offshore.
I always go
so at
head
least you got a
because I'm
little
an
coin
optimistic
flip there.
Okay, all right.
Which, in all honesty, is probably better than the way most people bet the Super Bowl.
Yep.
If you get reduced juice and you're laying $1 on the coin toss, better off that way. But I have never bet the coin toss outside of when I was back in grammar school and we used to bet it, and that was the only thing that we could effectively.
If they had a
book
Super
accordingly.
Bowl of coin tosses where they just stood in the middle of the field and tossed a coin for 3 hours, I'd bet every single one of them.
Didn't the AFC or the NFC lose? Like
There was a long trend.
history that was
you can
unbelievable
Actually, you
of
can actually
defeats.
get. I'm gonna try and see if I can dig it up while you guys are going through. I have the history of the
All
coin
right,
toss.
so I'm a
Try and
tails
see
guy.
what's here.
Dave, what are
I'm
you?
a tails guy. Little quick side story. When we played Little League baseball, we made it to the not Little League, older regionals. We were a great team. That's not part of the story. But when you get
How old
to,
were you?
This was 13 through 15. One of the best teams going. You travel. You win your state championship. You go to the regionals, and then you flip for a home field advantage. They used to send me out because I never lost a coin flip. I was that guy who would trot out. I was
You were always tails.
unbelievable.
Davey Page
No,
uses the
a live
human
coin flip. I go with field. This one,
field.
I wish I could bet the coin flip like the second before because I can see what's happening.
You can
like
see
if
the
you,
future?
You take a coin out right now, I guarantee you I bury it.
All right.
The NFC
First of all,
against
let's
coin.
challenge
The-
this. Anybody have a
it's
coin?
coin.
Anybody have actual money?
The NFC is
Set-
hold on. The NFC is 15-2 in coin toss over the past 17 games.
So that's
Yeah,
I
but
like that
that's
trend.
like red, black. That doesn't mean shit.
All right.
You go to dude theory. I got a coin.
All right.
Oh, here we go. All
I
right,
got a
okay.
penny.
All right,
This
officially.
doesn't count, but I mean, a penny's a tough.
You
We'll
gotta let
flip
it drop though.
Do you need a
You want
properly
to let
weighted
Trump?
quarter?
Okay,
Let
all
me
right,
see what
here
else
we
I
go.
got in my pocket.
This is everything is right here on the line.
Heads. I won.
It's true. You are
David
not.
Page
You're
used the human. So you need to
to
tweet
feel
in the air.
You need to feel it.
I feel.
Karmic.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it should be
so
the
you
best-
got to tweet.
I would kill in roulette. I could
Oh, you're
retire.
not
If I
gonna
just
be-
find it a
yeah.
boring game, so I don't play it.
All right, this one Dave will like. Your friend Bill
Yep.
Belichick.
Yep.
For people who don't know, what color hoodie is he gonna wear?
Gray's the favorite, huh?
Yeah. I think it's gray and then red and
Navy.
blue is
No, gray and navy.
and then red is last. But he did wear it. He wore a red in one of the Super Bowls, did he not?
Not that I'm aware of.
I feel like that should have been a question asked at media day to figure out.
He had
sit
blue
there.
at the media days, right? At the media
Yes.
Yeah,
jot it
I
down?
think he's going blue. I'd go navy. I'd take the value.
Okay.
I
day.
could.
I would go blue too because he's already worn the blue.
Yeah, I
You know
would.
it's here.
I would agree with blue, and I'd also go no sleeves. You can parlay it to no sleeves. You got to try and look for a little.
This is one of those
No
bets
sleeves
that, like,
is my mortal lock.
You
Yeah.
want to tell us? Can you text?
I could get those answers.
Yeah,
I could
so
ask,
you get us,
I could
get
ask
us
them.
You got
those answers.
connections.
That's the inside
And get them,
That is actually
get
pretty
them
good.
around. We'll
The
share 'em.
sleeves cut is my more. You just took my more locks. Mine is 240. Of course, it's cutting sleeves.
Yeah.
That's like the
It's
easiest.
going to be 75
Yeah.
degrees
Yeah,
in there.
okay.
I mean, there's
The
no
mine is
going full
240.
sleeves.
That's my book only takes though like 250 actually on that.
Yeah, because they know you're going to be.
No,
your
I
friend.
think anybody. I mean, if you can get
What's
insider
the most you can bet
information.
on that in Vegas?
You can't even bet some of the ridiculous off the wall stuff there for that reason. For
Just
perfect
pro bottom,
information. Well, you tell a funny story. Game day was the best because 5 Dimes used to put up a prop. Like what will Animal Head will Lee Corso wear?
Yeah.
Used to text one of my buddies who was on the production staff there. He'd be like, "Hey, we already know the mascot head that's
Oh,
there.
that's great.
Lee Corso
You got
knows
inside
that.
information.
Yeah, they know
Yeah,
it on they know
okay.
it on Friday night. You get a chance to bet it, but it's a $50 limit. The only thing that's good is if you get a 7 or 8 to 1 dog because he wants to fire off a gun for Oklahoma State, Pistol Pete, or whatever the hell else he's doing. Hey, it's not a bad little payday for
I hope the
$400.
FBI is watching this. And they lock
5 times,
they,
five times they'll never book this
they
again.
lock Todd up forever.
They'll never book this
Here's
prop
another
again.
Bill Belichick one that I found was pretty funny. Will Bill Belichick smile on camera? Yes, plus 140. No, minus
Does
180.
it include all the way through the end of the game, or is
Yeah,
it during
so
the
that's. I think it's
It's
during the
basically
game
a
to the
bet, I
final
think, on
whistle.
whether they win.
So right, so you're basically saying.
But it's saying I think it has to be if the whistle blows, it's over.
Yeah, the
Yes.
game's over. Like center
Correct.
field.
But if you think
midfield.
that if you think the Patriots are going to win and have the win
in the back?
in hand before the final whistle, plus 140 would be a great bet.
Was he smile late in blowouts? I never seen him smile on the sideline
In
late.
Super Bowl,
I think
late
he
in the
would.
fourth
I think
quarter.
if they're going to win and he's up by a place where they can't lose at the end of the game, he will smile.
now correct me if I'm wrong.
That's a good
He's
play.
your friend, not mine.
Right.
He does do like occasionally a sarcastic smile,
Mm,
like maybe like a
No, he
ref.
doesn't.
You
How
shouldn't
often
have
did
called
he-
that.
No, he
So
doesn't.
when you
Smile?
guys went
No.
out to dinner,
No.
how often
Okay.
did he smile?
oh, I had him in stitches. So
Oh
he was,
God, you're such an asshole for asking that.
Well, a lot of
I was
people are-
laughing quite a bit.
A lot of
Yeah.
people smile in that
got a
tuck,
good
though,
sense
so
of humor.
it's a good
Yeah,
spot.
well,
Laid
he
back
was a very
atmosphere.
funny
Yeah.
guy.
Was alcohol involved?
It's a little
Yo,
nicer
yeah,
than
we
Lake
were
Geneva.
drinking.
Yeah, it's a little nicer than Lake Geneva.
All right, the word deflated over under 3 times during the game.
Oh, way over.
That's
Way over.
better than the history.
Oh,
of the
see, I'm
world.
going to go the other way. I'm going to play contrarian. I'm going to go under because Al Michaels, in an interview on the Dan Patrick Show, said he didn't want to belabor the point and so didn't want to try.
Interesting.
And,
Done research.
he didn't want to try and
So
bring
it's
it up.
Al and Chris.
It's Al and Chris.
Come on.
So,
Chris
But they're going to have a
Collinsworth will
sideline
say it.
reporter too, though.
well,
Yeah.
but they
And
said
she'll be like,
now
if
is it,
you're wondering
she'll have
what they're
a ball.
doing with the balls
Yep.
at this game.
I'm going to say under because I don't think they're going. NBC's going to want that to kind of cast a shadow over the entire
Are you
broadcast.
out of your mind?
I think they're going to reduce it. I'm going to go under 3.
He's just had some insider information.
Yeah,
that he
I
brought.
wanna
don't
take
care.
a- I'm gonna go
Belabor
under
the
3.
point. They say that every time. Have you ever seen a game where there's a major story they don't beat the thing into the ground?
Yeah.
This
Or-
is 20.
Okay,
Does it
but
count for
here's-
more if they put it on a graphic?
I don't.
Because
I
they
don't.
may
I don't
put
think
it
that,
on-
No,
I don't
they
think
have
that
to
counts
say
as
it.
double. They have to say it.
And remember, they're going to say it a lot in the pregame. It's from whistle to whistle. I'm going to actually say this is going to be a push. I think he'll say it exactly 3 times.
Nope, over.
Over.
Okay.
I'm going over too.
Will Al Michaels mention the spread or the total or any of the prop bets?
How do these bets work? Like, if he makes
that-
reference to it, does that count?
That's a gimme. That,
Yeah.
He's going to make
Yes,
one
and
reference.
yes is plus 170.
Yeah.
Wait, no, but he's not going to say the line.
No, but
He
that's a
needs
good
to make a
question. like,
reference.
to how explicit does the
Right,
reference
because
have to be?
That's a good point. In
Because
terms
you
of
and I,
logistics and
if
what's
we're
he going to
betting,
say.
we know what
Yeah.
the line
He
is.
always
If you don't-
mentions it, but he never says
Says it. Now here's what the next question I had. If it was Brent doing the Super Bowl, what would the odds be for him to say it? Like minus 1,000?
But he would say it. But
Brent was
but
doing
he
it.
didn't.
He was
Well,
doing
no,
it like,
Brent's been starting to say it.
Oh, he just
Yeah,
like
oh,
that.
he
well, the
doesn't give a
Vegas
fuck
Bowl was the
anymore.
best. Brent went
Yeah.
just bonkers in the
Oh,
Vegas
yeah.
Bowl, and he did make reference to in your Iowa State Texas game the other night. He made
Yep.
about 8 or 9 references
Yep,
to
he's
that
Brent's
at the end
Brent's
of
in
the
the
game.
end of his career where he's like, I don't give a
He's
fuck.
just
I'm
letting-
talking
he's
about
letting it
what
go.
I've got game on.
Yeah.
I've
A
got
better
money action.
question
letting
is
it
how
go.
many small-time disputes are there on these prop bets with the bookie and the player?
Well,
Being
it's-
like, well, he said it,
Right.
but it wasn't to the letter of the law.
These are mostly Bovada, so I don't even think like my bookie would never.
These
take
are loosely
we
defined.
get
loosely defined
100
props.
emails after the Super Bowl every day wanting like us to blog a story of someone thinking they got robbed.
Right. because they think that- yes.
Right.
No, I mean that makes sense.
Let's go to Brady. Over under 24.5 completions.
These are starting to go where I get lost. So I'm just going to go over. Anything that is in the Patriots' favor, I will never obviously bet. I'm not going to be don't complete that pass, Tom.
I think-
So over.
The
But you think
question
if
is
you're
how
going
much
over
are they
the-
going to run the football?
Right.
Well,
I
if you're
mean,
going
so
over, you have to think they're playing from behind. Because I think if the Patriots are winning the game, they're going to establish the ground game and they're going to try and run. If the Patriots are playing with a lead, that's probably the scenario where this completion props comes under. Whereas if they're playing from behind,
No.
that's where he's throwing the ball over the yard.
This
No.
is where you tangle yourself in a web.
No, this is where he doesn't watch Patriot football. The Patriots don't care if they're up 50-0. If their game plan is throwing, they throw, and they never stop throwing.
You think their game plan is going to be to throw in this game?
I have no idea. That's what makes Bill Belichick.
Well, let's just do
such
that.
a
Let's- you
genius.
know what? Let's
Nobody
go
has
to-
any idea what he's going to do.
We'll talk about what props you bet, what everyone else bet at the end, but let's talk about the actual game. So it's Seahawks right now is what, plus 1.5?
We'll call him +1, +1.5.
So first,
Yes, I think they're going to throw.
Todd, tell us what the line movement has been. Like, have there been any like big time sharps? What's his name? Billy Waters. What has he made a bet yet?
no one knows.
Billy
No
Waters.
one knows who
Has
Billy's
Brandon
moving on the
Lang
game.
put
That is
down
good
any
to
money? Brandon Lang or Teddy Covers, have they put any money down?
Brandon Lang, I think he's like 17-2 the last 19 Super Bowls. I was
Yeah.
watching his video the other day talking about he was going off on a rant, which by the way I highly recommend anybody to watch. Talking about Mercedes Lewis banging some prostitute that he's in, or a stripper or a porn star that he's now in a custody battle with over a child.
Okay.
So Brandon Lang was sharing life advice there, which is pure
Brandon
gold.
Lang.
I don't even know who this guy is.
He's
seen
like
Fit for the Money.
he's-
Matthew McConaughey's character. in
Oh,
Fit for the
okay,
Money.
yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah.
you used to
I
watch
really
the
like
Sports
Brandon
Advisors?
Yeah.
He sells
That
his
was the best
picks
show
like
in the
one,
history of
like
television.
guaranteed
Those things
winner.
were awesome back in the day.
The- I-
100,
that was-
100 dime winner.
Yeah, for like
100
$49.99.
appointment
He'll sell you a
television.
pick.
Stu Feiner, the coach, Ron Bash swims with. He'd swim with
Stu
the Dolphins.
Finer's the best. Stu Finer's still making videos. He's like
I know.
got his shirt off in his basement.
He was the best.
Yelling at the camera.
But Ron Bash literally would swim with dolphins in his promo and said he was getting the inside info on Dolphins games, and his ear would be like next to the dolphin.
The actual game, what's interesting about it, the look-ahead line was going to be Seattle -3 before championship weekend. So everyone sees the Patriots go out there and stomp the Colts, and they see Seattle struggle to get through Green Bay. So then money starts to come in, and the number starts to move. So it was 2.5. So where a couple of the prominent offshore books opened it. Number moves to pick, and right now it's been all public support for the Patriots.
Okay.
So you did see some sharp money come in on the Patriots at +1, +1.5, just to kind of beat the market, knowing that the way it was going to trend. But the public right now thinks it's a foregone conclusion that Brady and Belichick are winning another Super Bowl, and that Seattle's got no chance because just like last year, they want the better quarterback, they want the higher profile offense. They fail to realize that defense wins.
Where does it end?
I don't think, from talking to books, they said they're not going to be as aggressive this year with the numbers they were last year. Last year it got as high as 2.5, and you had professionals buying Seattle to 3,
Right.
taking the full field goal. They said this year, unless they take enough sharp money to push it, they're not going to let the public push New England all the way out to
So
2.5.
Todd, you're listening to that little soliloquy that you just
It's a
gave.
big word for you. It's a big word for you, Dave.
Yeah, you're a numbers guy, obviously,
I know a thing or two about it.
and instead, defense. You got to remember win Super Bowls. So you're this whole controversy. You're putting zero stock that the Patriots are going to come out with their head on fire.
Well, I mean, they could come out with their head on fire anyways, but they were going to play less inspired football if there wasn't the controversy.
Yeah.
They're somehow more focused
Yes,
to win a Super Bowl because of the controversy.
I think so.
Well, you're not worried about Brady's cold? Isn't that worth like a half a point to the power number? He was going to his nose.
Oh yeah,
Quite a bit with
Brady
the
is a
tissue
noodle
during the
right
press
now.
conference.
We're taping this on Wednesday.
I actually think a cold could be the best thing that could happen to him because it may take him down a level
Yeah.
because he's so out of control lately. That
But he's a
in
fucking
the,
machine
so
now.
you
in
played
the
by
fucking
playing
machine.
in the
himself.
beginning-
He may want snow coming in.
in the beginning, he's
Dave-
like
Dave
he's too excited.
Let me
so
just-
you have a little cold, it slows you down. Ever play golf when you're feeling sick? Slows everything down.
You polish up a
swing-
sixer before you even hit the
I'm
first
just
hole.
saying.
That's the best way to do
Dave is
it.
at the point right now, just so you guys know, he's been in like a spin mode and an attack mode for the last 2 weeks, guarding the wall. You could be like,
Game of
Brady has
Thrones, I don't
polio.
watch, I
Brady
just-
has
the
polio,
greatest show in
and
the
that would
world.
be.
I just
It'd be
keep-
better if Brady couldn't move his legs because he'll like.
What would make
he'll just
you
focus
think
on
the
his arms.
Patriots
That's what I was
are
going to
gonna
say. Every,
What could
every
happen? We're
pass
taping
after
this
that
on
was more
Wednesday.
precise.
What could happen between now and Sunday, short of like Tom Brady just like dropping dead unexpectedly, that would make you or Belichick that would make you think the Patriots?
You mean
would-
barring like
barring death? What would happen?
Are we
What could
talking
happen?
injury?
Well, I guess like somebody could slip in the shower and like tear
Okay,
an
but
ACL.
not- you're
Like,
not
no
talking
no
about that.
freakish like death
Oh,
or
there's
crazy.
rooting
Is
for
there
death
anything
now?
that
No.
could
This is a
happen?
new low
No.
even by Clay
Zero.
standards.
No.
What's that?
Is this a new low even by your standards? Are you rooting for death?
No.
To try and create mayhem.
I'm
to
just.
the Super
I want to
Bowl?
know how far. Is there anything that could happen that's reasonable that would?
No,
make
here's
him
what
feel
you gotta
lack-
do.
Kill
you,
the confidence.
You have to be 100% convinced in yourself as a player, as a fan, that there's no way you can lose. I'm visualizing winning. Losing isn't even an option in my mind. There's no way we can lose this football.
What happened when the Patriots were 18-0 and lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl?
They
What
got-
were you like?
I actually that was a different time set because we never lost in the Super Bowl, 18-0. I didn't think the game was going to be as easy as people thought. That team peaked way earlier in the season. They were they were showing signs of not struggle, but that they weren't going to be beating teams by 50. So I wasn't totally stunned. I mean, they should have lost to the Ravens that year at Baltimore. They struggled with the Giants, even though they beat, but it was a much closer
Week
game.
17.
So I wasn't stunned, and the game was obvious from if you watched it, like from the.
It was a freakish collection of play,
but it wasn't even. I mean, it was freakish how they lost at the end with the helmet and all that. But in the first 5 minutes, you knew this was going to the end. So I live with it. The last Super Bowl, I was nervous. I thought the Giants. This one though, too much legacy. I've seen too. This team is too good. It's too good. They will not.
Does Brady retire if he wins the Super Bowl? Does he say I'm done? I've had enough distractions.
No, he's going to play.
I'm calling it a career.
How many more years does he have?
I think he's going to play for another 10 years. He won't be in New England. He won't be New England as
You
well.
think
He's going to be the face of the franchise in the new LA football team in a couple of years.
So you think he can
face
play
the
to
franchise
47?
in LA?
I think he thinks he can.
Yeah. No, we said in the car, we were having the conversation today in the car. I would say it started 2017 season. I don't think he'll be on
There's no way he's going to end his career in a Patriot uniform. No chance.
because he just wants to play forever. And
Belichick
will
Belichick
cut it.
won't.
All right, so
Jimmy Garoppolo's got to start somewhere along the way.
who do you have, Clay, in the Super Bowl?
I took Seattle.
Okay, what number?
Can I change my pick now?
And by the way, I want to cut you off. Seattle, and I fell into this trap. He fell into it a lot. They're not the same team as last year.
No, they're not as dynamic
I'm
offensively at
concerned
all.
about their wide receiving core. I wish, even though he's obviously difficult in the locker room, I wish they had. Golden Tate, first of all, I think mattered more than people are willing to recognize. But I think when you look at what down the field explosion that Florida's
Percy Harvin
brought to the equation, I wish they had him. But I just thought it was better value. Now I got Seattle +1. So
you guys put that. But if it's like you're -1, +1, who cares?
Well, no, I mean you're looking at right around a pick 'em. It's not going to change your handicap in the least. But when you look at where the numbers gone to where it would have been last weekend.
Push.
Yeah, I mean. That's...
But no, I mean, I just think I watched the number. I mean, if when Seattle opened at 2.5 or whatever it opened at,
Yeah.
I would have taken the Patriots. I think.
Yeah.
Clay's a numbers guy now. He's starting to come around. He's getting a little more sensitive.
If you lose enough, you start to pay attention to half points and points because they matter.
Yep.
When you find yourself
I'm like a proud parent here.
So-
Eventually, you'll put together a winning season too.
Yeah.
Take it to the next level.
don't get carried away.
And
point.
Todd, who do you have?
I like Seattle in the game.
Okay. I also have taken Seattle, so that makes me nervous that it's 3-1 here.
Let's not. And I know Seattle struggled. Patriots look great, and the Colts are terrible. All right, I'm the first. That was the worst AFC championship team in the history. You can ask Dan. I didn't even count it.
No, he didn't.
I went on to the Super Bowl after we beat Baltimore because I knew that team was
Just
a
said
joke.
you're done. Boom.
He actually
We're punching our tickets and
literally
we're good
was
to go.
like, I don't like this. We're going to the Super Bowl.
You're right, and not because I thought the Patriots were so great. It was an indictment of the Colts, who are terrible.
Which is fair.
But Seattle did not win against Green Bay. Green Bay just choked and gave them the game. They lost.
They definitely gave them
not
the
only
opportunities.
lost,
They got dominated.
Yeah.
They got dominated. I don't think at some point you are what you are, and they got dominated by that team.
What makes me
Dominated.
nervous is one, the lack of downfield passing threat. Two, Russell Wilson is a good quarterback. Is he an otherworldly quarterback?
Well, that's
not at
And
all.
on
Not
some
at all.
level, if you come out and win 2 Super Bowls, the number of guys who have won 2 Super Bowls in their careers, like maybe Russell Wilson gets it done. If he wins 2 in a,
Who's got a better legacy than Russell
that's
Wilson or
what makes
Eli Manning? Which quarterback would you rather have?
I mean,
if Russell were to win his second Super Bowl,
Basically, if you
Neither
win
one
2
of them
Super
are elite.
Bowls, you're going to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Just about. I mean, period.
Agree.
So this would mean that Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Maybe he is, but he's still really young. So if they win 2, that's what makes me nervous.
Well, I wouldn't say that right away just because he won 2 Super Bowls, because I think people do realize that a lot of it is because of Marshawn Lynch and a lot of it is because of that defense. But I will say this: if Russell Wilson plays average, he's going to cause problems because he keeps plays alive, and the Patriots have some great secondary. Darrelle Revis and Browner, who I think Browner might get 6 pass interferences on Sunday with the way that the aggressive nature of his playing and Russell Wilson keeping the plays alive, he's going to get. So I just think that if Russell Wilson can play just average, not 4 interception bad, not 4 touchdown good, I think the Seahawks will be able to win because I think their defense is that good.
I'll say this: I like Tom Brady more as he gets older. because I think
Because the cold, it's the cold thing. He's playing within himself.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like as much of an asshole as he gets older to me. Or maybe I embrace his assholeness.
Do you feel like he's less of a threat to your raw sexual charisma?
I think that's what it is.
Because Tom gets older and he's
Asshole.
past
I
his
don't even know
prime.
what that means. If anything, he's become a much bigger asshole.
But I always got the sense that he was being fake. Like, he
Oh.
doesn't seem like he's fake now as much. Does that make sense? Like, I like Belichick, too, because I think Belichick now embraces his assholeness. Like, he's just like, I don't care what you think of me. Like, I like guys who are just, whatever. Like, you can like me, you can hate me. I like Belichick being an asshole. And I think Brady, like, he seems more real to me now. Maybe that's what I'm saying. He didn't seem real.
He's not as worried about his image.
He's maybe more candid.
Yes. He didn't seem real to me for much of his tenure as a, like, look, I mean, he's incredibly good looking. He's tall. He's married to a supermodel. I mean, the guy he's a multi-millionaire. He's incredibly good at what he does.
He's got a pretty good gig.
I'm going to tell you.
He's not hurting. But he just in the game of life, the guy's not hurting.
Real.
I'm going to tell you Tom Brady's story from Michigan. And this is before he became, he was drafted by the Patriots. He was actually staying at a kid I went to Michigan with, house. And my buddy was dating a girl who was like a 10 and went to Michigan. And he said, and he met Brady, and this is the truth, before he's a big name. This is the nicest thing you can say about a guy. He goes, if you like your girlfriend, the one thing I advise is do not introduce her to Tom Brady. And it was, the reason wasn't because he was a jerk. He's like, he's really good looking, and he's super
funny,
nice.
like he's
and
engaging.
Yeah, and he's just like a genuine, and girls are like, that guy is the best.
Right.
And that's how you probably end up with Giselle. But by all accounts,
Good score.
But by all accounts, he's a legit good guy. Like, from the beginning to the end. You hear some people are jerks. I've never met him, but I've heard most people
Do you think
be
he's
like,
funny?
I think in closed doors. Like, even what were they saying the other day?
Like, if you had him on the rundown, do you think you would enjoy it? Like, other than the fact that he's Tom
I don't think
Brady.
he'd be candid. With
Yeah,
us.
so that's what I like.
But he could be. I think if he let down his guard, like a lot of people are comparing Peyton and Brady, and they're like, Brady's one of the guys. Like in the locker room, and Manning is not. I think that's the difference, But as far as he's too high profile, he's not gonna. We have guys who come out like we did the thing with Pedroia today, and he'll let it rip a little bit. Brady wouldn't do that, I don't think, in a public setting.
What do you guys think about the total? 47.5. Dave and I have a theory. I mean, you can't, if you like living, if you like life,
You have to go the over.
you have to bet the over.
I bet a lot of unders.
Todd loves unders.
The Barstool
You bet
model.
unders, Clay?
I mean, I do both.
The Barstool model doesn't allow you to bet unders.
No, we
right?
don't-
We know how
we-
Big Cat feels about
I
unders.
know.
Do you bet against the pass line and craps?
I could be that guy at the table.
We,
If there with his
as-
mouth shut, I'm happy to.
No,
I'm
I
happy to
understand.
collect a winning check.
It's
I
actually
would
true.
throw everybody
It's-
in jail who did that.
It's a Barstool. It's kind of like the Notre Dame. Like, play like a champion at Barstool. We only bet overs. We just don't even consider unders because we love life, and that's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't like games that aren't over, until when you're betting the total. It's just there's always
Yeah, you're sweating the entire game until that thing
right.
goes fine.
Like the over, it's over. It can't go backwards.
Right.
But
That's
I've been
true.
there
I mean,
before. Trust me, I know how that
the
works.
under,
so.
it's like
There's
you just,
always overtime,
mayhem is
and
just waiting. That is what you should do. You should use your connections. This is something I've been touting for years. I need OT insurance.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
We could try and work on that.
It's a
Wait a
no-brainer.
But hold on a second, though.
It is true. It's a great feeling when you take the over and midway through the third quarter you hit it.
Well-
and you can just sit back and chill. Even if you've got the under and it's an awful game, it's 10-7 after the
Yeah,
third
you're
quarter,
sweating it till it's-
you could
it's
worry.
bitter
I mean,
end.
the worst beat of the bowl season was that Western Kentucky.
No, that thing was way over.
But yeah, in
Again,
college,
but-
with
yeah,
the
college game is
football,
never
In
done.
it's
overtime,
worse.
you can score 50 points in overtime.
But why do you need insurance if you're only betting overs? Overtime is a good thing for your over. No over gets hurt by going to the extra
for that,
period.
but it should be for everything. Like if
Oh,
you're
okay.
minus 4.5.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than taking a dog and going to overtime and then losing.
Or if you
Because
Are you allowed to bet dogs as part of the bar?
No, we bet dogs.
Yeah,
we
dogs
bet
are
dogs.
fine.
Yeah,
Well,
we-
dogs are like the opposite. Dogs are easier.
Yeah,
The game
dogs are
starts, you're
fun.
winning.
Yeah, you're winning.
Okay, well, I
You
just
know,
wanted to check. I wanted to make sure the
We're the house of
philosophies
the
are on the
dogs.
same page.
Yeah.
I like the first half under. Under 24
four,
first half.
okay.
I would probably go over. Just because
Okay.
I think the Patriots are going to score. I don't buy into this idea that the Seahawks are going to be able to come out and shut them down. I think that both teams are going to have to put up some points.
Okay.
So that's my
I
pick.
have generally always a big game, warm weather, crazy play theory where there's unpredicted shits. When they start emptying the kitchen sink, weird stuff happens.
College football plays.
Yeah, it's very
we
similar.
could see a couple college football
Yeah,
plays.
so I'll go over based on that.
We have a theory with when you bet totals in college, you always are banking on a couple college football plays. Like a punt return.
Crazy things happen in
Yeah,
college
they're
football
so
games that
stupid.
don't happen.
Yeah,
Or you're good for
Sixes,
at least
stupid
one defensive
scores.
touchdown or special
Or like a
teams
guy
touchdowns
just
about every
doesn't
game.
get covered.
Or like you're trying to return a punt and he inexplicably is running over his shoulder and tries to
Right,
field it
yeah.
and just rolls into the
College
end zone.
football
Yeah.
College football plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually you have to cap that for at least 7 points. All right, let's go to what you have some props that you like.
Well, he already nailed the one, which was the sleeves. And this is another silly one. I love plus 155 Katy Perry wearing something other than a dress or a skirt. I think she's going to come out in something that's not even... it
Like
may
a Wonder
cause-
Woman look.
It may be controversy. People won't even know what it is. A custom item that it can't be qualified.
She's coming out in like a pleather skin suit.
Yeah, she's not coming out in like a
See,
skirt.
I think
I figured you'd be
because
loading
of
up
the
at
Janet
one-
Jackson thing, I think they're going to go make sure that her boobs are covered. Did you see like the Miss
Well, then that's-
California who
you
lost
give-
her?
yeah.
Like the world almost came undone when Janet
Right.
Jackson's nipple got.
I
on
think
a
it's going to
decade
be
ago.
like a Gaga type.
Plus
I think it'll
400 if
be-
you think that she's not going to show cleavage
Well,
then when
I
she comes out on
wouldn't
stage.
be stunned if she had like a skin tight, like lycra type top. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's technically not cleavage then, so
Right.
you win.
I mean,
That's,
so you're not
that might be the healthy
hiding it.
value play
You're
there.
not
plus
hiding anything,
$4.
but it's
Yeah,
like-
but by the end of the show, she'll be in something different.
Then
Yeah.
again, dispute.
Yeah,
what
there
exactly
should be
is
costume
cleavage?
changes.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
What else you got? Any other props?
those are the-
What song does she open with? There's a prop out there
Roar.
for that
It's
too.
gonna be
It's gonna be
Roar.
Roar.
Is it gonna
I
be
agree.
Roar?
She might come out with those boxing gloves.
Do we have
with
sources?
her.
Can we get somebody on the phone?
I mean, I'm a big
You
Katy
guys are
Perry.
both high profile.
I went to the Katy Perry concert recently, so I feel like I'm pretty plugged in.
There you go.
What was her finale?
Oh, that's a good question. She finished with the what's the Egyptian song where like
Yeah, like the
Aphrodite.
I can tell you what song she won't on with that
the
probably won't make the set. I imagine Roger Goodell told her she cannot do Waking Up in Vegas in any capacity because you can't have an NFL broadcast and mention Vegas
Yeah,
at all.
yeah,
I've got,
There's no
I've
way
got
that's
two
going
that
to
I've
happen.
already bet on. I bet on who's going to score the first touchdown because I love these bets. I also like to bet on safeties. I haven't bet on the safeties yet, just because rooting for a safety is to me just awesome. I bet on LeGarrette Blount scoring the first TD for the Patriots at 12-1, and then I took Luke Wilson for the Seahawks
Is
at
that,
25-1.
is that the first Patriots touchdown or the first touchdown of the game?
First touchdown of the game. So I
Okay.
took one from each side.
Okay.
I mean, so if
I like the Luke Wilson angle.
Luke
I think
Wilson
he's
at 25-1. I mean,
I think he's going to be a big factor for in their passing game. I think you saw the Ravens try and roll Flacco out quite a bit and get to the edge and get the ball to Owen Daniels and company. I think Luke Wilson will have a decent game. So I have
I
no,
like
pro-
the
I have no
LeGarrette
problem with
Blount.
that.
I like
Yeah.
him there too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
What about you? Have any props?
I actually look Brady yards under. I think at 265 to 270 in that range. I think it's under because I think Seattle's going to have a good amount of success slowing down the passing game, and New England's success will come in running the
Do
football.
you know what Richard Sherman's weakness is?
Getting the ball thrown at him.
he's overconfident.
Shifty underneath routes from little quick receivers.
I don't think he's going to be matched up with Edelman. I think Leighton's going to be matched up with Edelman. I think that's what you're going to see. I think you'll have Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor over the top on
So
Gronk.
who's gonna?
I think Sherman is going to try and eliminate LaFell entirely from the game plan.
that's your game plan. Put your best player on LaFell.
I don't think he's going to match up with Edelman for just those reasons. I don't think because he can't
Well, then
go
we're
underneath.
gonna win because we just neutralized Richard.
Well, there's
Sherman.
another prop. Then you should be going Edelman over 7 and over 7 and
Richard
4 yards
Sherman is
receiving.
now covering like a guy that barely sees the field.
But he did that against the Packers in Week 1. He doesn't. He stays on one side of the field. That's what the Packers.
You
do.
just
That's
eliminate.
why.
You just
Well,
eliminate
what
half the
happens
field.
if
Half
what-
the field.
Well, what if Edelman goes to his side of the field?
Then he cards Edelman.
Then he's dead.
Okay. We'll
The
see.
faith in Edelman is impressive.
Well, he has all the traits that
a
Sherman,
small, shifty wide
Do you
receiver.
think, Todd? Now, this is actually a question that I need the answer to. Do you think the Seahawks will be able to get pressure with just their front four?
No, I think they're gonna have. I think they're gonna have to bring blitzers to try and mix up. I don't think they're
That's
just
actually a
gonna get pressure
problem
with their
because
top
Brady
front
eats
four.
blitzes alive. I know that.
So I think they're gonna have to be creative and have to try and disguise things to bring pressure from unique angles. Because I don't think their front four alone will be able to get pressure.
Can I say something?
Fire away.
That
This is your site, so
that
you don't have to
Packers
ask me
game,
to try and
that
interject.
Packers game. Who was the head coach of that team?
Mike
Mike
McCarthy.
McCarthy?
If the Seahawks think Belichick is not going to step on their throats and choke them out if given the chance, and is going to go into a shell like a
want me to
coward,
really piss
like
him off in a second?
Mike McCarthy, then you're crazy.
Do you want me to really piss them off now? They tell you that I think Green Bay has better weapons on the offensive side than New England and can do things differently to attack the Seattle defense that the Patriots can't.
Like-
The Packers' offense is way better.
No, it isn't.
Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Tom Brady.
I agree with that at this
Okay.
point in the career,
And-
but not that week. He was still hobbled.
He's still hobbled, so at 70%, I'd say we'll
Jordy
give Brady
Nelson
the
is
edge.
better than any wide receiver the Patriots.
And
have.
Randall
don't
Cobb,
agree with that.
And Randall Cobb is better than any receiver
Correct.
the Patriots have on their roster.
The Patriots have
you guys
Gronk.
are. Edelman is
The Patriots are better at the wide.
I'll take
tight
Cobb
end.
over Edelman all
Yeah,
day.
easily.
Who?
I'll take
Cobb.
Randall
Randall
Cobb over
Cobb.
Julian Edelman.
No.
You don't watch the Packers.
You don't watch the Patriots.
They're in the Super Bowl. I've seen them play in the playoffs.
You've been sitting week in and week out on our shows, doubting the Patriots. So I've been like, you're wrong.
I
First
just
of
think
all,
the Packers
Gronk's the best non-quarterback, most important non-quarterback position player in the NFL.
I'll give you that.
So he's kind of important.
You're not worried that you don't think Seattle can slow him down at all. You don't think
No,
they have the
can't
personnel in the
chance
secondary to try and neutralize Gronk.
Well, you don't. Yeah, no, they may be able to.
They
slow
have
him
an
down.
athlete who can
Yeah,
match
they may-
up with Gronk's
Yeah,
athleticism.
yeah, they may be able to slow him down, but I mean, I still you that's what you can do to Gronk. You can slow him down. You can't stop him.
Well, no one
How
says
many-
no one says he's going to get held
So
off
what-
catches like Jimmy
here's the
Graham
question:
have a
how
couple
many
times in the
how
year.
many playoff games have the Patriots lost with a healthy Gronk?
I'd have to go. I'd have to go back and look.
0.
What do we define as a healthy Gronk? Him just being on the field?
No,
No,
the
the
Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl, he played on one leg.
Okay. No, I mean he's definitely. He's the biggest weapon they have offensively.
Like when he's not in the lineup,
How many-
they
Oh,
stink.
for sure.
How
You
many-
bet against an bet against right off the top.
Here's a trivia. How many playoff games have the Patriots won where they've had to play with fully inflated balls the entire game? 0.
No, I mean I'd have to go back and see how many playoff games we've won in the last 10 years. It's probably like 100.
All right, so final thoughts. We'll wrap this up. Any other final thoughts on the game? Anything we missed? Any angles that you got? Dave, you can go first. I see you raise your hand.
It's just, again, I'd like to say it's maybe the most important day, at least in the last 3 years of my life. We're going to be here. We're out here not for like this. We're out here as fans. That's what people don't totally get.
Is this a work trip for Barstool?
I booked this 2.5 months ago based on, I'm like, this team's going to the ship.
How crushed would you be if the Patriots weren't here right now and you were doing?
Oh, we wouldn't be here.
You would have not
No.
come.
I don't think so. I mean, it was booked strictly on I think the Patriots will be here.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have gotten media day access. That was through the Patriots.
Right.
So I don't know that there would have been a reason to be here. If we have to fly home on Monday defeated, I don't know what I'll do.
Are you guys able to?
I'm
What will
leaving on
happen
Saturday.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you're
no,
What
I
will
have
happen
no-
on your
no
Twitter
rooting
feed if
interest,
the
so.
Patriots lose? Do people come at you?
Oh, they
Oh,
hate it.
he will get. Listen. But here's the thing with
It's
Dave.
like when Ohio
If
State
the
won.
Patriots win, he's going to be insufferable for the rest of his life. Like he will be for the rest of his life because Brady will have 4 rings and he will just shove it in
Belichick will
everyone's
have
face
4.
for the rest of his life. So he has to know.
So
that
are you rooting for the Seahawks entirely based on that? Like,
No, I'm rooting for him because I bet on him. So
right, but as a part of the reason.
No,
you bet
because
against-
at the end of the day, what's good for the company is also good for me. So I will say there's an element of the more T-shirt sales that go down.
Big
it's good.
t-shirt.
Yeah, it would help
Big
me.
t-shirt
So
sales.
I
Do I
will
have to root
say
for the
there's that
SEC then
element.
as a member Outkick? Am I obligated to root for the SEC then, like Big Cat right here?
Probably
As a
if
company
you
man?
were a good
But
friend.
you don't sell.
and
You don't. What would you sell? Like the SEC got killed by the Big Ten.
Yeah,
What
SEC
would your
got murdered
shirt
by the Big
say?
Ten. No, I mean when the SEC reestablishes dominance, I'll have you guys out. We'll talk about how the Big Ten used to play football back when
Perfect. We'll be
people above-
old and gray,
people
my
above the
friend.
Mason-Dixon
We'll be
line.
old and
Listen,
gray.
you've gone. Yeah, I've been where you've been because to the Patriots, the last couple Super Bowl losses, it's it opened the door
To
for,
doubt.
for the cheap seats.
Oh, yeah.
For the peanut gallery, and this is where you got to close that door on them, and you got to push them off the wall.
A part of me
Right, Hank?
wants to check your Twitter mentions the moment that I
Just
tell
go-
people to do this.
listen.
Like, just go search my mentions. I said that as Ohio State is taking the control of the game against Alabama. I said if you want to be entertained tonight, just put my name in and go see what people are tweeting me. Right
If
now.
the Patriots lose, the first blog posted after their loss, the comment section for that will be an all-out war.
The only thing I will say is Seattle is borderline not even part of the United States. So there's not a ton of like.
It's
Right,
not
it's not like
Steelers
the
fans
Jets-
or
yeah,
It's
something.
not
Like, it's
somebody
there-
who's very.
I
familiar
agree with
with
that.
us.
That's
I
not,
don't
that's
know-
not a new
I don't-
market
I
you're
don't
gonna
know a
expand.
single-
Barstool's not expanding into the Pacific
I don't
Northwest
know.
anytime
I don't
soon.
know a
It's like
single
when we
Seahawks
lost to the
fan.
Giants.
I don't think Seahawks
I mean,
fans are like. I mean, Steeler fans are awful, right? They're all over
Seahawks
the
fans
country.
have flooded the.
Yeah,
the
but
spot.
Seahawks fans are kind of like they're not used to winning.
No,
They
you know
aren't-
what they are? Is their new money.
Yes.
I said this at me today. I was making fun of Seahawks fans to their faces. I could have hit them with a frying pan over the head, and they wouldn't have realized I was making fun of them. So, I mean,
They're a happy place.
it'll be Barstool people who don't care about the Seahawks or just happy, just guys who like to see the world burn.
Yes.
Basically.
Or just you burn.
Which is pretty much everyone
Yeah.
reads the site, right? Full-blown anarchists, right? That's how-
Or just don't like the fact that you've been shoving it in their face for the last month.
Could be.
Well, spring training starts in 6 weeks, so you got time. You got
All
time.
right, final prop to end the show: Gatorade bath. We got orange as the favorite, yellow coming in second, clear, and then blue. I don't even know why they listed green for the Seahawks, but I don't even know if there's a green.
Who does green?
Do they have green Gatorade?
Like, are you allowed to do Riptide
I'll
Rush
tell you
on the
one thing.
sidelines?
I
Is
will
that
tell you this.
legal?
I'll tell you this. If the Seahawks have a green Gatorade jug on their sidelines and they're drinking it, they will lose. So throw that one out. Because if you drink green Gatorade, like, how do you not just puke
I always
everywhere?
go with orange as the Gatorade bath.
You gotta
Okay.
go orange or clear. You gotta go orange or clear. The only two
Oh,
guys
yeah.
there that make
Yes.
sense.
Dave?
What's yellow?
Yellow is 5-2, the second favorite.
I always go yellow, just simply I'm a lemon lime guy.
Yeah, that's actually the same as me. I like lemon lime over all of them. I don't know why anyone would drink
Last year they paid out two, by the way, in that they paid out orange and they paid out the
Peak
lemon
here,
lime.
what was it? It was orange, and then what was the first one?
It was like orange and yellow, I think. Those were the two.
So he got
of them.
hit with two different
Yeah,
ones?
he got hit with
What
two
did he
different
hit with
things.
second?
Debacle
I
for
can't
the
remember,
book.
but it was a huge
Controversy.
nightmare for the offshore world. They're trying to figure out what to pay out.
Oh, you could really, if you were on
because
this,
that hurt their integrity.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's great.
Fox should have told us as Fox employees what kind of Gatorade was on the sidelines for both of those.
True.
Oh, because you know in advance.
Yeah, we got to get in
It's
the. We got to
insider
get in the.
trading. You're
Yes.
There's no such thing as
morals.
There's no such
over
thing as
here.
insider
This is-
trading. When it
this
comes
is
to
far
Super Bowl
down on-
prop betting, let that be known. There's no such thing as insider
This is
trading.
far down on the list of questionable morals. Trading on Gatorade futures here is not exactly the worst thing I've ever
All right, that's the show. Wait, before we end the show, quickly, we're literally going to end it the second you're done. Let's hear the top 10.
Oh, the top 10. Well, the 5 that we named, Tennessee, let's go with Texas, USC. Did we name USC?
No,
in the
yeah,
top
we
five
already
earlier?
did.
Starting over.
No, I'm saying these are the top 10 football
Okay,
programs.
then you
of
gotta
all
start
time.
Start over.
Okay.
Start from one.
All right, so in no particular order, Michigan, Ohio State, Tennessee, Alabama, Notre Dame, Texas, USC. Let me think here for a minute.
Oklahoma's got to be on there.
Oklahoma's in there. I would go with probably another SEC school, maybe Georgia.
You're just making it up now.
And Florida State.
No Penn State?
Penn State.
Penn State and Florida State.
See, we just kind of undermined all your credibility.
Well,
You didn't really have a top 10.
how many people can do a
and you
top
didn't-
10 off their
I
head
could have.
immediately?
Yeah, I could have.
You could name a top 10 program?
Yeah, easily. I just
You
did.
could even name the top 10 you just named right now. You could even name that right
Major
now.
complaint with your list? Nebraska.
Nebraska should be there
But
too.
we've had that conversation.
But Nebraska
it's
is
not,
done.
It's
Nebraska
not the
is
80s
done
anymore.
now.
Oh, they're
It's
done,
the
yeah.
80s,
If
I mean,
we do
moving
top,
forward,
top 10
Nebraska's not gonna be on
historically
there.
versus, I've got the top 25 list. I did it on the top 10
But
jobs.
Nebraska will be back.
I don't agree.
No, they won't.
Because I think the difficulty for Nebraska is
They
they gave
won't.
up Texas, and now they got to go recruit nationally. And
Yep.
why in the world? Like it used to be, Nebraska had awesome facilities and nobody else did.
Now
And
it's,
they
why
did
would you-
steroids.
now it's just
now
Nebraska.
everybody has great stuff. Yes, steroids. They ran the Wisconsin.
I mean, they need to do a 30 for 30 for those Nebraska games. They were the first to weightlifting.
Tommy Frazier.
Okay.
Tommy,
They were the first to
They were like
Tommy
they were like
Frazier
West,
available?
East Germans.
Yeah, they were the first to steroids.
East Germans
East
of
Germans.
college football. They just you can't persuade people to go to Lincoln, Nebraska who aren't from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Final question, where is Wisconsin in the top 25?
Wisconsin is a top 20. Wisconsin is a top 25 job. I think I had them at 23.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then why do the coaches keep
It's
using
a fascinating
as-
question.
They're not
We
paying them
talked
enough
about
money.
this.
They're not paying them enough
Because they
money.
won't let, according to Gary Anderson, because they won't let people
I
in.
actually knew that from
Yeah.
a player on the team told me that.
Then guess
Yeah,
what?
they
You're
don't
not
let
top
the-
25 program.
They might be now because that happens at lots of schools, and then they're like, you know what? They happen with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly gets a lot of people. Like
And then
Notre
they
Dame
just
people-
started letting people rape people and kill
Notre
kids
Notre
and
Dame
stuff.
Notre Dame fans like to believe that like they have a different caliber of athlete, like a different caliber of student, and everything else. When you go look at the numbers, I mean, Stanford is the only school that wins at a high level that actually takes and maybe Duke a different caliber of kid
The
than everybody
Harbaugh
else does.
effect.
Harbaugh effect.
We'll see
I
if he
gave
does the same
Michigan's
thing in
top 10
Michigan.
all-time program.
It's going to be interesting.
It's the Tennessee of the Big Ten.
He recruits
All
in
right,
Michigan.
that's the show. We'll probably continue this conversation off camera. So, good show.
All right, let me get my phone.